Now, sources have claimed that Prince Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson have been told they are not welcome at the royal family's Christmas celebrations amid fresh allegations surrounding their involvement with pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Two well-known individuals will most likely be absent this year as the royal family gets ready to celebrate Christmas in Sandringham. According to reports, Prince Andrew and Sarah, the Duchess of York, have been asked to skip the celebrations in the wake of the Fergie email scandal. It's an arresting moment that calls into doubt not just the Yorks' individual prospects but also the monarchy's overall course. The future of their Windsor home, Royal Lodge, and their continuous financial difficulties are at the center of the problem. When combined, these links depict two people who were once at the core of royal life but are now progressively relegated to its periphery. The Duke and Duchess of York's presence has drawn uneasy attention once more in recent months.
Well, no, and they certainly are not enjoying a great time of it because Fergie's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein has been absolutely exposed over the last few weeks. Revelations that she was responding to emails with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted.
The cameras stayed on Prince Andrew during the Duchess of Kent's funeral, where he was seen having active, sometimes even humorous, conversations with others in a more somber setting. Many people felt that the contrast was inappropriate for the event, and the pictures went viral in the media. Shortly later, there was what is now known as Fergie's email scandal. The public became skeptical and the Duchess charities were left uneasy as the revelations reopened long-standing doubts about her judgment. When combined, these incidents have exacerbated an already precarious reputation. For King Charles, who is committed to maintaining stability and honor during a vulnerable time for the monarchy, the problem goes beyond individual errors.
A report in the London Sunday Times that Prince Andrew and Fergie will not be invited to Sandringham. Now, I don't generally advise anyone to avoid church, but in Andrew's case, maybe he could spend a little more time in church privately rather than making headlines.
It concerns how the crown is viewed more broadly and how to deal with family members who pose a distraction risk. It is important to remember how important Andrew and Sarah were in the past in order to comprehend this moment. Hundreds of millions of people witnessed their wedding in 1986, making it a worldwide spectacle. The Queen's second son, Andrew, who was a handsome naval officer at the time, was hailed as her favorite. Sarah was hailed as a breath of fresh air because of her vibrant attitude. However, the fairy tale didn't last long. There were fissures by the early 1990s. Their 1992 separation and 1996 divorce occurred at the same time as the Queen dubbed her Annus Horribilis. The monarchy was rocked by scandals for a year.
Calling him a generous and supreme friend. Now, we understand that the King is certainly not wanting them around Christmas at all. He said that he wants them to be invisible at family occasions, not invited to Christmas.
In particular, Sarah was criticized for her financial dealings, featured in compromising photos, and turned into tabloid fodder. Nevertheless, the Yorks never truly parted ways even after the divorce. They raised their children Beatrice and Eugenie in Windsor while still sharing a royal lodge. Many were perplexed by their unusual arrangement, which Sarah frequently justified as a friendship too strong to break. The York tale is embodied in Royal Lodge itself. Constructed in the 1800s, it served as the Queen Mother's home for many years, providing a cozy and secluded haven. Prince Andrew was given a 75-year lease on the home by the Crown Estate after her death in 2002.
Next to his very famous family, the Daily Beast reports that this is a win for Prince William, as Prince Andrew will never be photographed alongside Prince William again, they said. I'm sorry, but the head of the Church of England should not be regularly seen next to someone on an Epstein flight log.
It's a magnificent home. Historic interiors, expansive gardens, and more than 30 rooms. However, magnificence also carries responsibility. Such a property requires millions of dollars in maintenance each year. Critics contend that Andrew cannot maintain it because he is no longer a working royal and cannot rely on public funding. Rumors that King Charles would prefer Andrew to leave Royal Lodge have persisted. Although Clarence House has not responded, there is conjecture that another senior royal may eventually be given the property. Maybe even the Prince of Wales when his kids are older.
I think for Fergie and Andrew, this is not going to be great, and not going to be great for their daughters either, because whether Beatrice and Eugenie wanted to be part of the working royal family, we have a slimmed down monarchy at the moment. And I think, they are going to be pushed further into the wilderness. So not a great time for the Yorks for sure.
Keeping Royal Lodge has become a source of pride and financial hardship for Andrew and Sarah. A recurrent issue in Sarah Ferguson's life has been her financial difficulties. She reportedly owed many £million in debt in the 1990s. She has experimented with a variety of endeavors throughout the years, including speaking engagements, lifestyle brand launches, and children's book publishing. However, the trend has frequently been the same. After initial excitement, there was financial hardship. In an attempt to preserve solvency, she just decided to sell her townhouse in Belgravia for £4.2 million.
Oh, not at all. And it's very interesting. There's this new drama that's coming out, isn't there, that features Fergie. And that has all been caught up in this sort of backlash in a really strange way, actually.
In fact, one of London's most affluent neighbourhoods, Belgravia, represented achievement. On the other hand, its sale has been seen as an indication of stress. Although few question the severity of Sarah's financial situation, friends claim she is resilient. Things have gotten worse because of the email controversy. Potential revenue streams may dry up since a number of charities have already withdrawn themselves. This setback might be more difficult to overcome for someone who has always relied on innovation.
It is. It's a sort of a domino effect, and unfortunately, a new ITV drama going to be a 4-part series out early next year. It stars Natalie Dormer. She plays Sarah Ferguson. The drama is about Jane Andrews, who was one of her great friends who was convicted of the murder of her boyfriend in 2001.
Andrews faces a reputational hurdle if Sarah faces a financial one. He was formerly hailed as a war hero for his service in the Falklands, but in the last 10 years, his reputation has declined. In 2019, he made an extraordinary choice for a son of the Queen to resign from public office in response to growing criticism. Instead of clearing his name, the notorious Newsnight interview strengthened suspicions about his trustworthiness and judgment. Andrew has been in a state of royal limbo ever since. Although he is no longer involved in the public life of the monarchy, he nevertheless holds the title of Duke and attends family functions. Forced obscurity must be tough for a man who previously enjoyed being seen. According to insider reports, he finds it difficult to maintain his anonymity and frequently makes his presence known when the palace might prefer otherwise. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are caught in the center. Both women are seen as friendly, modern, and approachable. During combined appearances with senior royals, Beatrice in particular has received plaudits for her poise. Her taking on additional public responsibilities was once discussed in private, particularly as the King and Princess of Wales dealt with their health issues, but it now seems doubtful. Cautious concern that Andrew could reclaim his fame by using his daughters. This case appears to be especially harsh and is an instance of guilt by association. Beatrice has never made a mistake, according to one source. However, her parents' shadow stands in her way. There is profound symbolism in the choice to keep Andrew and Sarah out of Sandringham this Christmas. There has always been more to Sandringham than merely a house. The monarchy presents itself as a family on this stage. A custom that strengthens continuity is the press-captured and crowd-watched Christmas Day trek to church. It was noteworthy that Sarah was invited back in 2022 and 2023, indicating that she was once more a member of the family. It is to be firmly positioned on the margins to be excluded today, and by instruction rather than choice. Sarah and Andrew celebrated Christmas at Royal Lodge last year. The calm, secluded meeting, which contrasted strongly with Sandringham's public warmth, was joined not by their daughters but by each other. It appears that the same pattern might apply this year. What does this reveal about the monarchy during Charles III's reign? Most importantly, it shows that you are prepared to be forceful. For many years, the Queen's natural tendency was to shield her kids, frequently to the annoyance of her advisors. Charles, on the other hand, is willing to prioritize the institution over familial relationships. The King's strategy is similar to his heirs. According to reports, Andrew's threat to the legitimacy of the monarchy worries William a great deal. The determination to maintain a distance from the Yorks is strengthened by their seeming unity. This resolve was evident during the funeral of the Duchess of Kent earlier this month. William apparently overlooked Andrew's joy and energy, a silent but obvious sign of estrangement. What does this mean for the Yorks, Duke and Duchess? Though there are still concerns regarding its future, they are now staying at Royal Lodge. Although they are no longer at the centre, they are nonetheless connected to the monarchy. Their girls are still devoted, but they are limited by their situation. In many respects, the tale of Andrew and Sarah is the tale of the contemporary monarchy. Maintaining tradition while pursuing renewal, striking a balance between public expectations and personal allegiance. Their absence will be a powerful statement at Sandringham this Christmas. Via stillness, not via words. What are your thoughts? Should the monarch set an even more rigid boundary, or should Andrew and Sarah be permitted to stay in silence at Royal Lodge? Leave a comment below with your opinions.